Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Now we are going to discuss the question answers based on this topic. Here, based on the last topic of this unit 4, they have asked, reproduce the famous quotation of Tagore on education. So as it is, we have to mention that quotation which was given by Rabindranath Tagore. So we'll mention the highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes our life in harmony with all existence. So this was the famous quotation given by Rabindranath Tagore on education. Now, based on these long answer type questions, they have asked, what is Rabindranath Tagore's educational philosophy? So we have to mention it in detail, and intro plus details and the conclusion will be added in these long answer type questions. So here we can mention the educational philosophy of Tagore are. First one, freedom is the essence of education, means freedom was considered as one of the important factors of education. Then the promotion of, here we can say the promotion of creative self-expression was also taken. Then the direct first-hand experiences from activities like music, fine arts, drawing, crafts, etc. were also the part of his philosophy. According to him, education must take place through the natural manifestation in natural environment. The ideal of educational institution should bring the child's mind in very close union with nature, and being an internationalist, as we know that he was an internationalist, so he stood for the essential unity of mankind. According to him, man is a manifestation of God, the ultimate truth. So it is through men that values and virtues of God, the values and virtues of life are realized. He also emphasized on the spiritual and the moral development of a child, of an individual, with their physical and intellectual development. He also mentioned that one who has lost the child in himself is totally unfit for the task of education, or educating the children. And beside that, he focused on that education must be a child must be taught with love, care and full attention. So these were some of the philosophies of Rabindranath Tagore's educational philosophy. So here you can mention the same. The next, based on the same topic, they have asked, write an essay on relevance of educational philosophy of any Indian educational philosopher. So here we are taking the example of Rabindranath Tagore only. And you have to mention his educational philosophy. We know that he was a great philosopher. He was unhappy with the system of education that was prevailing that time. He did not even approve the idea of corporal punishment or any sort of physical punishment to students, and his educational philosophy was based on the humanism. And according to him, he said that little children are able to learn quickly with the behavior of the teacher than the knowledge imparted to them. And some of the philosophies of his and some of the relevance of his philosophy we are going to discuss that we have to mention here. The promotion of national and international understanding. He was in the favor of promotion of national and international understanding. You need to elaborate this point. That being an internationalist, he was in the belief that the judicious synthesis of both West and the Eastern culture and the West and the Eastern world should bring out the solution for the different problems of the world. He also focused on child-centered education. He was of the viewpoint that all-round development of an individual is required. Self-realization was also one of his philosophy. Learning through active participation, where the interaction could take place, and creative self-expression in education. So all these were the relevance of his educational philosophy. You all have to mention it with headings and need to elaborate the same. Here, based on this high order thinking skill HOTS questions, they have asked the first one, compare the educational philosophy of any two educators. So any two you can select, one we can take from the West and one from the East, means one from other country and one from India can be taken, and we just have to make the points of difference between the two. Points of difference doesn't mean that both were having the distinctive ideas, but separately you have to mention the philosophy of one and then separately you have to mention the philosophy of the another philosopher or the educationist thinker. So here if we talk about, we can take the Maria Montessori, in which we can mention that she was in the favor of liberty in education, liberty in environment also, and she was of the belief that development comes from within and education should be helpful in unfolding the potential of a child. So all these points related to her philosophy we have to mention, and same with another one we can take Rabindranath Tagore, where here also we have to mention that freedom is the essence of education. According to his philosophy, he also focused on the freedom of an individual. And he promoted the idea of the creative self-expression. He focused on involvement of or the active participation of the child in classroom. He also discussed about the role of a teacher, that how teacher's behavior or the attitude can play an important role in the overall development of a child. And being an internationalist, you have to mention that how he stood for essential unity of mankind. So all these points that we have already discussed, you need to segregate to any other you can take if you would like to. The two examples we have taken here that related to Maria Montessori, and the another one we have taken Rabindranath Tagore. And it is good if you are taking one from the West and one from the East or from India. So it will help you to match their views where they were having the same sort of philosophy or the common points they all were focusing on. So this was the discussion of the question answers based on the last topic of Unit 4.